Now, I want to turn your attention to another group in this country, a Jewish Hasidic group called Chabad Lubavitch. They're headquartered in Brooklyn and Crown Heights, and they've been doing things, a lot of things, that should raise concerns for all of us, for Americans at least, who care about this country. For one thing, they're spread out all over the world. It's often a couple that gets sent out, and for some reason, the wives are always beautiful, really beautiful, actually, and the husbands look like Muppets or wizards. I don't understand that, how they're pulling that off. It's impressive, actually, like very impressive. The other day I was walking and I was stopped by a few gentlemen who seemed to be Chabad. They asked me a question. They said, "Are you Jewish? And have you put on tefillin today?" And I didn't even know what that means. I didn't know what they meant by that. Did they want to take a DNA test? Maybe we should. I don't know what a Jew is. I don't know what they meant by "are you Jewish?" Does that mean like half Jew-ish? I wasn't sure what they meant. And they brought out these leather straps, and I saw them tying people up in it. It looked very painful. But I continued to watch them, just tying up young men, one after the other, wrapping their arms in a very tight way. It looked really painful. Ugh. It was very painful to see, actually. Oftentimes, Chabad will throw block parties around certain Jewish holidays, and which is not unusual, by the way. A lot of religious groups do that. But the local Chabad rabbi will get on a megaphone, and he'll keep making announcements, and he'll never know when to stop. He'll never know when to stop. He just keeps going and going and going like he's the MC, and when the program needs to keep moving along, he just keeps making announcements. Ladies and gentlemen, and now bringing up, and it just goes way too long. It just goes way too long. And, there's people out there, young families with small children, and they're usually waiting to get home, but the head Chabad rabbi, he refuses to get off the megaphone. And that's a problem, and it has to stop. Oftentimes, people report that when they've traveled around the world and stayed at local Chabad houses, they're often sleeping in a guest bedroom next to a fax machine and a stack of bookshelves and kids' toys. It's not only uncomfortable, it's dangerous. And when you find yourself in local Chabad houses around the world who are accommodating your travels, a lot of Jewish people have said, it's hit or miss. You never know what you're going to get. You could get a beautiful guest room that's perfectly made up with all the right amenities and wonderful food, or you could be sleeping under a desk next to a pile of tax returns and crayons. Something has to change. Now, it was reported about a year ago that members of Chabad at the Chabad headquarters were digging tunnels underground in Crown Heights. Some say they were trying to get to Al-Aqsa. They were trying to dig a tunnel all the way to the Al-Aqsa Mosque to destroy it and build the third temple. I don't know if that's true, by the way, but it could be. Thankfully, they didn't make it. Fortunately, they didn't make it. They barely got 3 feet in. Might have just been a space to hang out. But I'd like to believe that they were trying to get through the Atlantic Ocean, underneath the ocean, digging tunnels all the way to the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is a holy site. And it should be very concerning for Americans. It's concerning to me as an American, as a white person, as a Christian. Another thing members of Chabad like to do is visit a place called the Oil. Supposedly, they say this is the grave site of the Rebbe of Chabad, but they call it the Oil, which tells you that clearly they're motivated by oil. And that's what's going on with Iran. I mean, that's clearly the motivation behind these interventions is oil. And I certainly don't think it's a coincidence at all that Chabad would be obsessed with the oil. You'll find lots of young members constantly saying, "Are you going to the Oil tonight? Are you stopping by the Oil?" And they're clearly oil obsessed, which further motivates them to push for regime change in the Middle East to capture more oil. It's always been that way. It's always been that way. Now, you'll find at a lot of establishments across the Jewish community, you'll find old footage, clips of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, the Chabad Rebbe, Menachem Mendel Schneerson, and you'll see footage of him slapping tables, violently slapping tables, clapping his hands, and it's very violent, it's very disturbing. And I feel horrible for the table. It must be very painful for the table. It must really hurt the table a lot. It's horrible to watch. It's really violent and shameful. Perhaps one of the most disturbing things about Chabad is their music. If you listen to some of these tunes that they sing and you listen carefully, and I would love to know what the words mean exactly, but unfortunately they don't actually have words, like at all. And if you listen closely, listen to this, and you tell me what you hear. That's enough of that. You can clearly hear them saying, die, 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 die. die, who should die? Americans? No. I died, die, 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 die. It's very catchy. It's certainly very catchy. But to say die over and over again, I mean, what does that mean? Die, 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 die. I mean, it's disturbing. It's very disturbing, actually. It should bother all of us as Americans, as Christians. The bottom line is, if you are part of a movement that is apocalyptic in nature, calling for the end of times, that's dangerous. It's violent. And a movement that's animated and motivated by such ideas needs to be confronted, and it needs to be stopped, even forcefully. Tucker? What? Right. Shit. We can cut it. Tucker, we can cut it.